Welcome to BoneDry Bonsai. I'm Joel. Thanks for checking out the channel. Working on this little pine today. Got it into a new pot. It had an accident. So that and a maple, and I really did a number on my Norfolk Island pine. So it's a really nice morning. So I'm gonna have a stab at these trees this morning and see how it goes. Hope you enjoy the video. Check it out. So this is what I've been doing this morning. Rather than being out in the beautiful sunshine, reinstalling this garage door opener. I broke a spring, so I had to replace the spring. Didn't like how they had the backing, and wanted to make a few adjustments. So yeah, I wanted to be doing trees already, but Granny Smith I gotta get in the ground. Nursery by us, $37.50. Come on, Cal. Yeah, it really is just a beautiful morning. February 1st. Yes, that storm last week really dropped a lot on us as far as wind. I got everything kind of piled up. You see the redwood got some natural pruning. What happens to all the little dead stuff in the redwood when you get a good windstorm, and on some green stuff, but you see it just really looks nice now. None of the little dead twigs and branches falling anywhere. The guys came last week and did some pruning because it was getting into the high voltage. So the city came out, or sent an arborist out, and now it's got kind of a thin spot. Right up in there. There's that little tiny wire up there, if you can see it, but yeah, it's on the neighbor's side. Unfortunately, they're gonna have to look at it, but so yeah, I gotta get these piles cleaned up. Still got a mess of acorns. I think some of them are, yeah, this one, these want to take root. I could get those in soil if I wanted to, but boy, it's been a busy, well, not quite spring, but close to spring. And I feel like more trees are gonna, I don't know, I guess a few acorns in a pot in case, just in case for some backups. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, this is a little Japanese maple. It's one of the first trees that I got. I think it was advertised as a bonsai, or I might have even bought it in this pot. I think I've got to get it repotted. The buds are swelling, and you can see how little it is, but I'm worried about this. I'm not happy. About what's going on there. I'd just be staying too wet with this soil. But I'll show you a close-up of the growth on it. Here's the base of the tree. See, that doesn't look good at all. I think I'm gonna pull that out and see problems. But the buds are popping. think this pot has a little lip here. Yeah, it does. So I'm gonna drag some of this topsoil off first before I try and get it out of there. We've had some pretty good rains here. Last week was kind of ugly. Lots of high wind and some pretty soaking rain, so I haven't watered anything since then, but you can see how it's just looks like it's just sitting in really wet soil. I do feel roots over here. Yeah, there's a nursery here in town that sells this little bonsai mix in a bag. You can just buy it. They advertise it as bonsai soil. And so I was using that at first. And then I did switch up after I started learning a little bit more. And tried to get something with a little more inorganic material in it, like akadama, and then when I started learning a little bit more about how I wanted to grow my oaks, I kind of came up with that other mix that I'm using. So I'm gonna try and pop this out from the bottom first. It doesn't feel like it wants to carry the full weight of that wet soil. I'm gonna take a little bit more out. And you know, who knows? I may be surprised at what I find in here. Maybe there's gonna be more root than I think. I hope. So yeah, it's pretty wet. It's pretty wet in there. Give things a rake. I have been thinking lately that I'm jumping the gun on these repottings. It's easy to second guess yourself when you start watching so many people on YouTube from so many different parts of the world. I went back and looked at some photos that I did take last year and noticed bud development and bud growth, and then how the leaves popped on these. And these are pretty well leafed out, like full leaves here by about March 20th. At least they were last year. I know obviously that can change with weather and stuff, but you know, I would say on average that's probably about right. So yeah, this looks not the best over here on this side, but this certainly looks like it's got plenty of root. Nothing over here is rotted or anything. It'll look nice. So I think I will have the opportunity to make some selection here. that one's on that side. Which is good. I'm gonna try and be really careful with it. Maybe I'm being too ginger with it, but I've heard these maples, they really do grow a lot of roots, so hopefully we'll get things straight here and I'll get this tree reestablished and sturdy in the pot. I'm going to take care of these long roots right now because I know I'm not going to want those in that little pot. And then I'll squirt it off and clean it up a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. So yeah, definitely a nice day here in Northern California. The leaf blower's blowing. Somebody's got landscaping going on. The neighbor's running the tractor. Everybody kind of enjoying the sunshine. It feels quite soft. This one crosses back here, and so does this one. Everything wants to go this way. If you look at that tree from the bottom, you can kind of see what I've got going on here. This root and that root, I'm just not sure they're ever going to radiate out from the base of the trunk well. I will start with that middle one. I'm going to remove it. So here, this is kind of my fallback when I really don't know what decision I want to make. I go with what I do know. So I'm gonna go with taking off these roots that go straight down. I think I'll try that. Still not happy with that. I wonder if I cut it back to here, at least I've got something over here on this side. No, I think I will. I always like to start with what I know, because you start taking a few things off here and there, and then it really helps you to be able to see more clearly what's happening. This one's really vigorous, so I think I can be kind of brutal with it. Yeah, see, this helps. I think I've helped this a little bit. Now things are growing this direction anyway. I'm hoping when I plant this, if I don't break it off first, that I can bring this one over here to this side. This one will be okay. We've got too much going on out here. That one grows at a funny direction. I don't think I need all this. I'm gonna save this as best I can. I want that growing out the other side. I wish I'd like for this to be, radiating off the tree, but right now, I just don't think there's a lot I can do about it. It's gonna be wait and see. Maybe repot this again next year because it is in such a small container. I think it can handle a repotting every year, especially here in our climate. This one grows kind of 90 degrees straight off of that, so it's gone. I'd like to be able to get up in there and get the rest of this nub off of here, but I don't want to take the chance of breaking this. Maybe I can get a little bit more of it. That's a little bit better. Now you can really see this thing growing at a funky angle. But it's what I've got to work with right now. I don't think I want to remove it completely. I mean, I do, but I don't know. Will this little guy here, will that thing take over? That's the question. And so, as far as the top goes, I've got this branch growing out of the crotch here, or a bud actually, and I don't want that growing there. Not even in future, I don't think. So I do want to keep this branch. So these I will remove. This is just an old pruning point here. This is probably not going to do anything for me either. But it doesn't have to come off today, that's for sure. This branch kind of grows at a funny, but I'm not going to want this little bud growing here. I'm going to let this go. I want to take more off. Obviously, I don't like this. Maybe as things kind of straighten here a little bit, I could use that, but right now it just looks like it's growing at a 90-degree angle. But I'm gonna let this thing go in the springtime, get as many leaves on it as we possibly can, and grow some roots. Let's grow really close together here. I think I'm gonna take this off. Okay, Joel, put the scissors down. I'm gonna give this algae a little scrub here. One more root off the bottom. Okay, Joel, put the scissors down. I think that looks a little better. I cleaned up my pot. With the color of it, you really can't tell that the glaze is slopped. This is a little slopped here. This is still... So yeah, I did realize that I did pot this tree. This was a pot that came from that same nursery that supposedly sells bonsai and bonsai pots. But these bonsai pots that they sell all have attached trays, which I don't think you want for a Japanese maple. At least I don't. And so I removed it. I think it was just hot glued on there, or some kind of glue. But yeah, I have my drywall tape as a screen, so I know I did it. I think, you know, I'm a little more even right here with this coloring. So I think I'm gonna call that the front. I don't know, nothing really stands out anyway on it, so I think I will go with this side. So I'm just gonna reuse this. I don't see why not. Maybe I'll clean the roots out of it a little bit more. Yeah, this branch will definitely be leaving us if things go well with this tree in the spring. Do I need to get the scissors out again? No, I guess not, darn it. So, I think I don't want it to look like a slingshot for sure. I like the root base happening kind of like that, but I expect to grow this apex straighter here. Probably chop this later. So do I call that a fore branch or a back branch? I think we'll go with something like that for now. And I'm thinking that it wants to sit a little bit offset to the left. Maybe back in the back of the planting a little bit more. Trying to arrange these roots so they grow like I want them to. I did end up saving that little thread of a root on this side in the back. I'm just going to put a little bit more soil here to anchor. Just not a lot of root to have to work anything in around, other than right there at the base of the tree. I think my height I think it's just gonna be okay for now. Yeah. I just don't want air pockets, and I'm trying to work it radially so that I don't disrupt those radial roots the way I've got them situated. I'm going to keep them that way if I can. And I'm going to finish it off with some akadama. And it looks like pumice. Not really sure. This came from the actual bonsai place here in Sacramento. Give it a little water just to settle it in. It's good, nothing pooling at all. It just all wants to fall through. So that's what we're calling the front right now. Could change in the future, but I'm gonna roll with it. Little Japanese maple, ready to grow. Hopefully it will.